the stream. Let's also got the party started, right? If this mic sounds a little different to you than my usual mic, it's because it is. It's an older version. I'm using a secondary setup for the stream. So yeah, I will probably get a better one soon, hopefully, but that's what I have to work with right now. You know. All right. Let's go. Also, this plugin that I'm using for background removal sucks ass sometimes. Doesn't really matter, but here we are with the coding streams. Welcome back, everybody, or welcome everybody to the first one. I haven't done these in a while, and yeah, I hope it shows. Can remove the application for now, but yeah, this is as an idea for a while, but I never went through with it, and I think I should have, because it's usually fun. We're just going to hang out for a while, and yeah, hang out for a while and code something. The thing is, the thing I'm coding is I am trying to make a interactive map for La-Mulana. That's why I call it La-Mulana coding, obviously. This will include a lot of mapping out stuff that I'm going to be doing outside of stream. But this will also involve some coding, obviously. I have also the application here as it renders. Coding window for that. I should make myself bigger. Here we go. But yeah, this is the application as it renders, obviously. And yeah. So far, not much is shown. It's just a rectangle. We're going to be filling that with our own stuff. But yeah, as time moves on, I hope we can do that. Yeah, that's what we're going to do today. Holy shit. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy the stream and just hang out with me while we do some coding. I have not set this up properly yet, completely. We're going to create a lot of configs here first. Most of going to be in JSON files, by the way, because that's usually how I do it. We can transfer that later down the line if we want to into a database, but since this game doesn't get new discoveries at all anymore, it makes sense to make it into a static JSON file for now. If we need later down the line something that can manipulate those JSON files, we can do that. So planned a backend for it. I have a very lightweight SQL storage situation here. We can use at all times. Just a simple SQLite database that runs locally, and that's about it. you know. But if we don't need that for now, we might need that later down the line when we actually get into like user login and stuff. But I don't even know if the application as it stands, as we design it, actually needs even a user login or anything. But future applications might, and we're going to do that as a proxy until we get like to the nitty-gritty, right? Because at one point we need to deploy these applications as well, but it seems very easy. So this is the map data. Let me just update map version. And then we're going to call this fields. Do we really want to make this into an array? Not really. Yeah, let's make this into an array. And we're going to start with the first fields, surface. We can actually internationalize this too. That's why I'm using an I-18 key, which is like the internationalized version. All of the I-18 key are going to be in here. This is just to use this. This is just a JSON file that has the international text preloaded. So if I ever want to translate something, it's very easy to do so, right? I just throw the text in there with the appropriate key, and whenever I render this, I just load from this key, right? I just load the key from here into this, and the appropriate language will be shown, right? Surface, and then we have rooms. And we probably have a description string, but I don't know what to fill yet. This is very, very easy, like population of data, right? Let me double check this so that we don't get confused. Whoa. Get the stream manager up here. All right. How does it look actually? Here we go. So yeah, we'll be doing a lot of this. And I need to map out all of the other areas too. But that's data acquisition and data management. You know, which is like a later part of a process. Now we just want some dummy data that we can render later down the line. I kind of want to have every field its own JSON file. right? So it's probably always good to have what kind of rest trigger do we need? Maybe. I'll have to think about it once we actually go to the room data. I do have a screenshot, I think, but I actually need to edit that. Let me do that real quick to see how big it's going to be. Right. Let me... It's over here. Videos, recordings. Yeah, that's where also the screenshots get thrown, sadly. Alright. Let me zoom in so we can get it pixel perfect. What's the size of this? 1440 times 1080. Is that really it? If I scale it down to 800, 800 times 600, I guess. Interesting. So that's the grid we need to create, right? I'm going to cut that out and save it, and then we can use it as a crutch, right? Surface. All right. Sorry that I have to do this away real quick, guys, but I need to edit that. Let me let's put this really quick over here. Don't need a file, I need a folder. There we go. If you want to see it, All right. Um, 800 grid heights. 600. Should be fine. It's going to be interesting because we are going to work with the canvas element, but I've actually never worked with a canvas element before. So depending on how this goes, we're going to do that. By the way, I'm going to be streaming later down the line too. Let me plan that real quick while we're at it. While we're at it, let me plan that real quick. I was thinking of several ideas, but I need a crutch in between, and it's probably going to be virulent free. Yeah, let me set that up real quick. Do I have a thumbnail? I think I have a thumbnail already. Alright. Virulent free, thumbnail free. I might not have a thumbnail. Let me look at how many virulent free streams we had. Only 2. That means I have a thumbnail. I made this thumbnail so long ago. Let me plan this out. Oh, it was a while back that we did virulent. I love this Pokemon Lo-Fi Bob, by the way. It's absolutely incredible. So yeah, I'm setting it up for 1 p.m. So if you want to join at 5 p.m. I'm going a demo stream where we just play a bunch of Switch demos. I definitely want to try out the new Monster Hunter Stories free demo, and I want to try out the Pragmata demo. So we're going to do those as well, you know. But yeah, the streaming event should be set up now. Let me look. Yeah, all right. Seems good. Seems to be good. All right. Let's go back to the code. You know what? I'm going to add the room data into here right away. If we ever need to segment the room data out into different JSON files, we'll probably do it. It's probably going to be that way, that we need to segment it out, because it's going to be tough to keep up with this. but it's going to be a way too long JSON file if we do that like that. So what do we need in terms of rooms? Let me create our first room, which is what we just saw. God fucking damn it. All right. X index 1 and Y index is also 1. So it's a top left room that we're doing. Image surface room a.png. I'm going to see if I can update this into CSS and background size cover in the future. I'll probably I could have custom CSS classes for every room and just add them on here, and it just adds them onto the class. But let's see. So then every room needs to have treasures or items array. Tablet array. I'll have to look into what to do with that. This room doesn't have a tablet, but it has an item. So let's this is going to have coordinates. Item name. It's a serpent stuff. Right. And going to add the item description. Probably in the future, this is going to also be segmented out into an extra JSON file that has the item, has all items in it. Obviously, because I can then just go for the ID. I just give every item an ID, and I just reference the ID in here. Basically, is what I'm going to be doing. So the items are going to be having the ID. The room is going to have the items ID right here. Let me make this into an integer, obviously. Let's say it's on X. If we start at 0, it's around 400, and Y is around 100 or something. Since it's only 800, let's say 250. You know, doesn't have to be completely precise, but yeah. yet. Oh yeah, room also has a name. That's something that I need to actually do. I think we this data for now. Thing is, I actually need to look up how canvas items work. All right. Let's see if we can do this. Instead of the example component, obviously, let us make a new one. God damn it. Let's make a new canvas component. I need to make sure you guys can actually see what I'm doing, which isn't always that easy. I'm going to copy the code of the example components right here. And this one can go save this too. Let me also delete the CSS file for the example and new CSS file here. Should be fine. Well, it doesn't do anything right now, but we need to include it in here. I'm not going to explain too much as we go along. Also, let me open this up real quick. so I can see what I'm doing. Let's do with 100%. For now. Should be fine if we're looking at it from this angle. So yeah, this spans the entire width and height. You know, there's probably a better way in React to refer to the canvas. Let me get that straight. We don't actually need the state to interfere here. All right. I mean, what? Because it's fun. I'm doing live stream because it's fun. What do you mean? Why do I keep doing live streams? No, I have fun doing them. Let me did the canvas initialize correctly? That's the one question I want to ask. Probably not. Do we have an error? What is going on here? Oh, lost Twitch. Nice. All right, let's continue. Why does it do that? Oh, this doesn't need to be used in the constructor, right? No. Probably like this, maybe. Let me do this real quick. Let me figure this shit out. While we're at it. Can I not set that just to null? Like, literally, canvas ref equals null. It does say whose ref is not available, so I don't know. It's nice. Let me sit up real quick while we do this. Where do you use that one? I think it might have been here. I do that in here, I think. Let's access it this way. I think that might work. Let me get this straight. Now it should render actually, which is good. There's a small canvas here. What kind of options does a canvas element use? Does width, height, and borders. Yeah, I guess so. All right. Let's do this with is 100% legitimate? Probably not. It's probably not legitimate. Yeah. Okay. So let's make it a width of 1920. It's probably not going to be a good idea, but I'll have to find something that scales better down the line. Right. Okay, now we have a full canvas here. No. I'm going to try this out. This is the first time I'm using a canvas element because I'm usually not like using like wishy-washy elements like canvases. I'm usually using more of a grid system with my applications, obviously, because it's way more reliable and it scales better. So this is actually the first time I'm doing like a canvas element thing. Right. That's what I wanted to get out of this. So yeah, this is an example here that they're using. So I'm putting this in the componented mount. Probably not going to be a good thing, right? Yeah, it's probably going to produce an error. The problem is the canvas ref is not filled yet. The problem is I think the component did mount actually fires before the first renderer is in there. I actually need to can I just log this? Probably needs to be filled by the renderer first if I'm reading this right. null and then it produces the error. Here we go. Oh yeah, it doesn't re-render. What do we do in this situation? I probably canvas elements more before we did this. Just enjoy the music. I mean, that does make sense. I'm going to try this out right here. Let me try that out real quick. Thing is, there's so many different ways to use React that it's actually just a weird thing. Let's see if this piece of code works. Or maybe I shouldn't even use a canvas at this point, because it's probably you know what? I don't think I will use a canvas. At least for now. Why does this not work? All right, we're not doing this. I'm going to switch to canvas throughout, but I need to figure this out first because this is going to happen anyway. All right. Let's make this a regular. Let me scroll down a bit. Let's make this a regular for now thing. Column system. That's 3 O's. Fuck it. This is poorly planned out today. I swear. I have ideas for other stuff that is way better planned out. Let's make this with 800 pixel. As it should be. And make it white. I mean, this is what our room is going to look like. Wow. Yeah, the thing is I need a component. Wow. Yeah, I'll probably try myself out with some new stuff on this. I think I'm going to finish this for today. I definitely need to conceive this better. We might not return with La-Mulana for a while until I figure this shit out. And next time I'm going to do this, I might do another thing. Although we could start with that other thing that I'm doing. Over on how it's going to work. In my head, it was a lot easier. All right. Let me check if I can get another repository going here. Oh, it's going to take so long to set up. You know what? We're keeping it. We're going to do La-Mulana real quick. While we're at it. Assets, where was it? Assets. Rooms. Surface. There we go. It's going to be a first room. Yeah, I mean, it's not that hard to do, but yeah. It's going to be hard to draw this in a satisfying way, you know? That's going to be the main issue. Because if I'm creating these rooms, the problem is I need something that's a lot more flexible than this. If I could use a grid system and just make it as a grid system and then lay it out, and you just need to scroll through it. But that's kind of not what I want. I want some interactivity here too. You know? I theoretically could do it. I could conceive of something that works like that, you know. But do I want to? Is the question. I mean, we could conceive of something like this. Content. And if I use this icon, you know what? Do we have the actual icons here? I think for La-Mulana 1, I actually do get the icons. Fuck you. Alright. So if I add it in here, file, I want to fall down icons. If I add it like this, we go. Let me go to the coding window. Let's do 30 and height 30 pixels, and then do URL thing here with assets, icons, icon, serpent stuff, webp. So if I load it into here, you can actually kind of see it in the application window up top. And here comes the kicker. If I actually go back to this and make the room a relative positioned element, I make this icon position absolute, we can actually move it to left 200, top 50 pixel. We want to do it like that. That's enough. 250 is a little bit much. 240. Top needs to be at least 100, right? Yeah. A little bit taller. Let's have it at 50 maybe. But then I need to position it left a little bit less. 230. Maybe even let's do 225 and top 80, not 800, 80. There we go. 90. There we go. Then we have the serpent staff positioned right on top. I mean, kind of, and if we do the whole hover thing, we could then add a text when it's hovered, where it says serpent staff and like a whole text window that is opened on hover, and serpent staff, and then the item description. You know, like that is the kind of idea that I want to do, just as an interactive map. But I also want it to be able to be zoomed in too. I want to make it so that you can zoom in, you can zoom out, you can do whatever the fuck you want, you can switch between areas. Everything's in one place, like one place, one space, and the area is not kind of connected. Okay, good. So yeah, that's my project. I'll keep working on this, and I need to see what kind of things I need. There might be other tools that I could use that are actually better than this. If not, I'll have to conceive of something on my own, right? Which sucks, but yeah. I'm going to end the stream for today. I'm going to stream for today, and we're going to do Wario Land in a bit, right? Let me zoom into that. Next up is Wario Land 3 at 1 p.m. So thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you all in a bit. Trilightning out.